Hello, it's Fiery Grace the Gifted. I'm here with a Divine Masculine Insights reading. We're going to check in with the Divine Masculine Collective and find out what it is they need us to know about how they're feeling, how they see us. This is going to be all about the Divine Feminine from the masculine perspective. I'm going to shuffle and we'll get started. Mm. Wow, a dream deferred. So, divine masculines are starting to recognize something within themselves. They're saying, okay, I see you. I see how special you are to me. The fact that I can't get you off my mind, in spite of the fact that for most of this time, I've wanted to. I've wanted to ignore the feelings. I've wanted to forget you exist. I've wanted to push you away. And yet I can't stop myself. Something's up. Something is real here. And yet, for some reason, pursuing it feels like I'm going the wrong direction. But lately, I feel like pursuing the dreams I've been pursuing is going the wrong direction. The divine masculines have reached that point of the fork in the road. There's one fork that will lead them forward and beyond and into the wild unknown. And then there's a fork that literally just takes them right back around and they'll get there again soon. They've reached the fork, and the question is, will they go back right back into their old life, or are they finally going to make the decision to move forward? Because they are recognizing in that fork, in that position on the journey, it's that moment where you've gone past that tree 3 times and you're like, are you sure we haven't passed this tree already? I feel like we've been here. I feel like I smell the smell of the moss just like that right here. You know what I mean? It's this supreme recognition from within of going in circles. The divine masculine is fully aware. And now they're starting to ask themselves, is it the plans that I have that I'm so stuck on that are causing me to miss what is really most important to me? And the fact that this person in my life could be the one that doesn't necessarily help me get it, but is there by my side and increases my capacity to. Look at that. Mm. Yep. And look, right there. Take that wand, go through what you need to go through, and be the magician. Be who you're supposed to be. But no. So now we see what a divine masculine who they're afraid to take the leap because they are not sure. And this is a little bit sad. And that's where we saw that 5 of Wands. There's a little bit of an immaturity here because of how powerful and strong the divine feminine is. But the truth is, the divine feminine is not like better than the divine masculine. But the divine masculine, because again, this has been coming up consistently across the board in readings for the past couple of months. The divine masculines are at odds with the divine feminine because they have an inferiority complex. I will never forget, I was walking with a ex-boyfriend. He was my first college boyfriend. We were on campus. We were on a walk, and I had a bunch of shirts from high school. I was wearing the shirt, and on the back of it was my name. And it was in an executive leadership position because I was often in executive leadership positions in everything, including when we met that freshman year, he actually thought I was like a junior. Everybody did, because I had gotten there the summer before, fall classes began, and had immediately gotten involved on campus. And so he had this way. I knew, and that night when we were walking, and he goes, "Oh, what's this shirt say?" And he's like, "Oh, Student Advisory Council. Let me guess. Is your name on the back? Were you the president?" And I just kind of looked at this guy like, "Dude, are you kidding me?" Now, what's funny is this person, they had a lot of dreams and aspirations, and they went on to do way more, like in terms of being involved with the school, than I did. They did. They went on to do all the things and more than what I wanted to do. But yet, in that moment, all that came through was bitterness and insecurity. And that's how these divine masculines see us. They look at us because, in spite of the fact that we know we're not perfect, and we know we will always be in the growing phase of life, and you know what I mean? In spite of all of that, there's something about the way that we interact with them that gives them that inferiority complex. And yet, here, very plainly, they're recognizing that it's them. Here they see that maybe the dream that they have is the problem. Here they see that maybe they're fighting against something that isn't really an issue, when they could be using this very same wand to do magic, to create just as much magic as we have in our lives, to create abundance just as we do. All right. Oh my, my, my. Oh my. Oh my goodness, this is incredible. Oh my goodness. I mean, come on. Okay. We just saw this divine energy that said, look, allow the goodness in. Allow the fresh start. Allow the new ideas. Allow the new excitement. I feel like this is doing this. Okay? It's rotating out on this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so how interesting is it that you want to know how the divine masculine feels about you, divine feminine? You're a dream come true. You're also a complete nightmare, because you're everything. You're their equal opposite, right? You're everything that they're not. And until they can look at you with pride and say, that is my woman, that is my man, until that time comes, they're going to look at you and go, how dare you come over here with all that knowing? How dare you know stuff about me that you're not supposed to know? And how dare you tell me how to live my life even though you're right? How dare, you know what I mean? How dare you trigger me to become a better person? I was just over here getting really good at being a jerk, whatever. And in the middle, it's that fighting a fight that isn't really needed to be fought. Fighting a battle that there's no winner, there's no outcome. You just All right, so let's find out. Okay, I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take this one. And I kind of feel like I should take that and that. All right, and there's this. Okay. Oh, all right. So, let's get started. First thing we need to understand is what is the overall energy of the 3D masculine. Okay, so our masculine in the flesh, doing what they're doing in terms of their day to day operations, the way they see the world, the way they interact with the world. What's going on? What do we need to know? All right, bringing us back to some energy we saw within the blessing and the shuffling. 3 of Wands, the divine plan. What are we not understanding about this? There is an emotional connection to the plan. Now remember, what we originally saw was the dream, but in reverse. And I think what's happening right now is the divine masculine is finally allowing the true divine plan to play out and stopping themselves, I don't know, from trying to force something different. For a long time, they were pursuing a dream that really wasn't their own. But now they're seeing things from this new perspective, and they're starting to lose an emotional connection to their old dream, or to the one that they kind of made up, or the one that was really superficial and based on all this stuff around them that wasn't real. I have the hiccups. I'm so sorry. Hold on a second. Okay. And now they're moving into a new emotional focus with the dreams that do matter, the dreams that do mean something, the ones that they realize have been there all along, the ones that would kind of creep into conversation when they're thinking about their future, and they'd push it down and go, no, that's silly, or that's from when we were a kid, or whatever. So what is it we need to know about how they're seeing, feeling, dealing with their emotions toward the divine feminine? Seeing that this stuff has shifted and changed. What do we need to know now that I think that the reason this is important is because we're no longer focusing only on the divine feminine as like a barrier. Now we're seeing the divine feminine for who they really are in our life, as someone who actually is guiding us towards what matters. Let's find out. I'm thinking about my divine feminine, and I'm recognizing, was this in our energy? I can't remember now. I feel like it was. I feel like this is our energy. This is what it was. I see my divine feminine, and I think now, if there was anyone out there who was equipped to help me become the person I'm supposed to become, it sure is my feminine. All the things that I was thinking about them before were wrong, because I was looking at it from the perspective of the dream that I was trying to pursue rather than the dream that was my real dream. See, this is hard. When you have someone whose mind is twisted, it's like they're not in their right mind, right? They can't be in any kind of truth. I do not know why I have hiccups right now. I never get them. It's lasting forever. Hold on. I'm trying to, as you can see, just talk through it, which is normally what happens. I'll get it for 2 seconds and it's gone, but these are seriously here. Hiccups. I'm trying to see. Is this going to let me see it? Oh, hiccups. Okay, I'm just going to read this. The spiritual meaning of getting hiccups, of course, there is a scientific, but what happens when the body, when you hiccup, sneeze, etc. But there's also spiritual meaning too. If you've been meditating, manifesting, energy healing, you may have side effects like this. Hiccuping usually means there is a breakthrough in what you're doing or a spiritual release, and there's also an old wives' tale that someone is thinking about you. Well, that's interesting. Actually kind of creepy. And I think they're gone now. And what are the odds that as I am doing the initial part of the reading that's talking about the divine feminine, and as I get to the first card about what the divine masculine is thinking, that we look up hiccups and it's someone's thinking about you. So this is no joke. This is no lie. The divine masculine's focus on the divine feminine has shifted because they're no longer seeing them from the lens and the idea of, you know, this is the direction I'm going. It's like, actually, I'm going over here. And now that I'm reassessing this, this is the perfect person to join me on that journey. This is the perfect person to have by my side. So that was a double message right there. I've never heard that about hiccups. I don't know if I've ever looked up the spiritual meaning of hiccups though. Nowadays, I look it up all the time just to see what's possibly there, and it's usually correct. When you get that feeling to just say, what's the symbolism? Even if there's multiple symbols, usually you'll end up being drawn to one in that moment. And you might hear later, like I remember I looked up crows one time and got the, I mean, it was incredible how specific the message that was that came up. And then later I would hear people talk about crows and all their different things that they believe it means. And they never really resonated with me. In fact, I never really cared that it was different because I got the message I needed in that moment. And if I'm supposed to look it up in the future again, I will, and I'll probably get whatever I'm supposed to get then. So that's just very intriguing to me that that just happened. But, and again, that they're gone when I look it up. That was creepy. So I love this. I love this because this is what the divine masculine thinks about the most. The divine masculine is always thinking about, you know, how to make the most money or how to build the most stable life, secure life, how to create wealth, how to build an empire. And the fact that when it comes to how the divine masculine, now we're looking at the new plan, sees the divine feminine, it's no longer you're holding me back. It's no longer you're stopping me from being who I'm supposed to be. Hold on. Okay, this reading is, forgive me because it's starting off slow and I keep going to my phone, and I know that you know I don't like doing that, but I feel like I'm supposed to look something up. 27 angel number. I don't know if you, I don't know why. I've never noticed this before. But right now I see the number 27. Very strong. Hold on a second. Angel number 27 is a message from your angels that new information or news of a positive nature is on its way. Listen to your intuitive messages, inner promptings, and believe in yourself. Good news is coming soon into your life. They're calling you to have faith in yourself and your abilities and your inner knowing. Okay, well, we've got something that's about to happen. So, divine masculine's thinking about you, and good news is on the way. That's where this reading is starting. I have no idea what's happening. Okay, so what about how they feel? So we see you're on their mind, and it's all about this new plan, this new look, this new step ahead. Remember, let's just be honest with this. I believe this is what we saw was the King of Wands, or the King of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. We also saw the Four of Wands in the energy, didn't we, to start? So I'm just telling you, I see good things, really beautiful things. But how are they feeling towards the divine feminine right now? 8 of Swords upright. They feel, you know what's, I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it's kind of, they feel trapped. But it's not the typical, like, low vibrational way. I think that, and this has been happening a lot. A few things have been happening a lot in the collective, just like all my client readings, all my collective readings, all my phone calls. Like, there's been a few things, and this is one of them. The divine masculine cannot stop thinking about the divine feminine. And as much as they push the divine feminine out of their mind, they just can't. They always end up thinking of you. Everything leads their mind to you. And you might be like, well, Grace, you know, how is that any different? It's like, no, what you don't understand is that's what you're used to. You're used to it. Some of you will push your DMs out of your mind. Others of you will allow them to be there, and then others, it's become an obsession. But we're not really used to hearing about that from the divine masculine. Normally they push us out of their mind and they pretend we don't exist unless we're in front of them or they're thinking about us in the moment and they've decided to allow that thought. Now they can't get away. They can't stop thinking about what they've done to you. They can't stop thinking about the past. They can't stop thinking about the possibilities of the future. They can't stop thinking about I mean, honestly, I'm even getting some sensual energy in here. I'm getting some, what would you call that? It's beyond intimacy though. It's like a craving. They miss you, they need you, and they don't like it. Again, it's because for them, they're used to being able to control the things that go through them. But because of the fact that this is tied to their emotion, they cannot control it as easily. I think if this was here in the thought position, it would be a lot easier to control because they would just say to themselves, this is just an illusion. Don't deal with this. Don't worry about this. But since it's happening in their emotional body, which is something that they're not, because they deny exists in the most cases, they're not as equipped to deal with things from an emotional standpoint. And this is coming up more and more and more. I can't stop thinking about you. And what's funny is this card normally has such a heavy meaning to it, but I don't feel that. I get a sense of this lightness to it. It's almost like, see, I don't like saying this because it sounds so bad, but it's almost like they're finally being worn down. This to me feels more like a divine intervention than it does a divine feminine intervention. I don't feel like the divine feminines were forcing their way into the masculine's thoughts. I think divine was just pouring the divine feminine's energy into the divine masculine to get them to a point where they just say, all right, fine. And again, I know people don't always want to hear that. Like, why would I want to enter a relationship with someone who's saying, oh, fine, I'll do it? And it's like, because as much as it might frustrate you, that has less to do with you and more to do with them and who they are and their issues. And sometimes it takes divine, or, you know, how many times have you seen in the movies where, you know, you've got like a guy's friends who, I saw a guy, oh my gosh, I love this freaking show. I used to watch this show so much. I talk about it all the time and I realize it. New Girl, there's an episode where one of the guys, they're on like a, you know, going around the city looking for women kind of thing. Not really, but that's kind of what happens when guys go out, I guess. And so he meets this girl who is perfect for him. Like, you want to talk about twin flames? They were both military brats. They would each like live in the city, the same cities, like a year apart. Like the moment one left, it was almost like they were being deployed on like this rotation. It was so weird. They were perfect for each other. They thought each other was super fine. It was just perfect. And he says to his homeboy, like they're sitting down having a beer at a different bar. And he says to his boy, like, yeah, she's perfect. So I didn't get her number. I just walked away and left that alone. And he's like, you got anything for me for that? And his friend had this bag of like stuff he was carrying around for everybody. If somebody needed something, it was like a Mary Poppins bag. And he reaches into his Mary Poppins bag and he pulls out and he slaps his friend in the face. And he says, if you don't go find that girl and get her phone number. And so it's like, you have to understand something. As much as we want people to just get it, people don't always just get it. In fact, people do and say stupid things that hurt themselves out of stubbornness, pride, stupidity sometimes, frankly. There's all kinds of reasons why someone would look at you and say, get away from me. And in that moment, he said to his friend, she's too perfect. I came out basically looking for like strange, you know? I didn't come out looking for a twin. I didn't come out looking for my soulmate. And his friend had to be the one to say, what's wrong with you? How often do you get the chance to meet this person? And so I'm just letting you guys know there's some real interesting energy happening in this reading, and something really new is flowing in this divine masculine's life, where I kind of see their own self. And not their 5D, their 3D self is saying, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? All right, so what is the challenge that they're facing when it comes to their DF? What is it that they need you to understand? King of Wands. They're having trouble seeing the vision of the new future. They're having a little bit of trouble embracing what abundance is appearing in their life and like starting to manifest, or what they see as possible now that they're not so closed-minded and negative. They're having a little bit of trouble really embracing the idea of what is to come, the vision of the future. It's a little bit blurry to them, or it's possible that what's happening is, do you guys remember, I don't know if you remember, there was this thing that you look through it and you press this thing down and it turned the picture like a little story. It's an old toy from when we were kids, and I mean, I think older people will even remember it because there's like an older version of it. But you would put the little thing in and you would turn it, and the film strip would turn with every click, and you could watch this little film take place inside this vision. Well, what I'm seeing is someone who has two different stories over each other, and you just can't really make it out. You know, it's you can see some things and some others, but you can't tell, all right, now is that from this one or from this one? Because I'm just seeing it jumbled. This person is having a little bit of trouble. This person is still in the midst of things, but I mean, look at what we've got on the board right now. That's 1111. 1 1, and there's 11. This person is confused, but that's because this is crazy, because I feel like I've said this probably maybe 10 times in the past week and a half. I see a lot of divine masculines walking through personal portals, personal, massive energy shifts, personal, massive stage changes. And it's all, a lot of them are having the experience, but it's individual. It's so, sometimes I wonder if you guys get it. Like, I know that some of you will just automatically, but I think some of you already have trouble understanding what the portals even mean and all that. And so I'm sorry if I'm not doing a great job, but that's what I see. I see, like, again, in the end of the Avengers movie, where all those portals open up from like all over the, I guess, the universe, and people start walking through them. That's what I'm seeing, is all these divine masculines are appearing in the same time or space or whatever you would call it, but they're all kind of coming through from wherever they were. I think that right now, have you ever seen that image of when they're traveling at light speed, like from one place to another? The walls of that tunnel are like light or shapes or sound or something like that. I think that's where this person is. I think your divine masculine is in the midst of such a uprooting, and they just are trying to grab a hold or place their feet on solid ground, and they're just struggling to see you in the future because they still see you in the now, or I guess you would say in the past. So their present right now is a little bit jumbled because they're not grounded in the here and now yet. They're still in the yesterday and the tomorrow. And that's not their fault. I do feel like there was a lot that was poured upon them. I see that here. A lot that was poured upon them to get them to see all of it so they could sift through all of it and come out strong. So what's the final thing? This is what they need you to know. Regardless of any of this, this is what they want you to know. Oh my God. I love you. I need you. I've dreamt of you my whole life. I always knew I'd have a partner like you. You frustrate me because I wasn't ready to do this. I wasn't ready to love you. I wasn't ready to settle down. And yet you amaze me because in spite of the fact that I pushed you away, ignored you, denied this, denied us, you didn't let that foolishness stop you from loving me. Wow. You know, what's crazy is if this is 1111 and this is 6, this is 10. If this reading is really resonating, you're going to want to order the exclusive Divine Masculine reading, because I'm going to leave it there because it's not for everybody. And that's the only reason I offer these exclusives, is because I was getting messages last year that I was going to put out for the collective, but then I was like, nope, it's for someone in particular, but I didn't know who it was for. So that's why I offer these. And yeah, I'm just going to say that if this is really resonating, you're going to need to order the exclusive. It's like $10. I can't remember which one, how much the Divine Masculine one is. It might be like $12, but they're all between $8 and $12. I have 5 exclusive readings I offer every month. This one, yeah, I'll leave it there. Just know what they need you to know is that they see you, that they do know who you are, in spite of the fact that they've pretended for a long time that they don't. Okay? All right. Let's end this reading. What is it we need to know about what's happening within the 5D for both partners? The moon. Spiritual transformation, massive shifts are at play. I heard Homeward Bound just now. I believe that was a movie. Hold on a second. Homeward Bound. Okay, I didn't know that this was a... Oh, hold on a second. This is a Simon and Garfunkel. I thought this was a movie that I was thinking about, but I'm actually drawn to Simon and Garfunkel. It says, I'm sitting in the railway station, got a ticket to my destination, on a tour of one-night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand, and every stop is neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band. Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound, home where my thoughts escaping, home where my music playing, home where my love lies waiting silently for me. Oh my God, I'm about to fucking cry. What's happening? Oh, oh shit. What just happened? Hold on. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna have to sing. Okay. Okay. Every stranger's face I see reminds me that I long to be homeward bound. I wish I was homeward bound, where my thoughts escaping, where my music's playing, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Tonight I'll sing my songs again. I'll play the game and pretend, but all my words come back to me in shades of mediocrity, like emptiness in harmony. I need someone to comfort me. I wish I was homeward bound, home where my love lies waiting silently for me. What? If I've heard this song, I don't know it. If I've heard it, I don't know it. I honestly was thinking about that movie. I just wanted to look up the year that the movie Homeward Bound came out. That's what I wanted to look up. I still think I should. It's 1993. Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. Holy crap. Look at this image. Oh crap, why am I crying? Look at that. Isn't that crazy? And it's got a little bit of like Lion King up there. I don't know why this is making me really much. I don't know why. Okay. 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 All right. Okay. So it looks like I guess we all are waiting. Because that's the 5D. But maybe that's the song. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's the song the Divine Masculines are singing. I don't know what that means. I mean, I get what it means. I'm talking about for this part of the position. Well, let's look at the card. Maybe that's what I'm missing. Ace of Wands. It's the torch. It's the torch. And if you add that together, that's 19. That's the freaking Sun card. This is insane. You know what's crazy? You, seriously, if that's 10, and then that's 10. So, yeah. I'm telling you, if this is resonating, you got to order the exclusive. All right. This is insane. You have received the call to action, the call to arms. You have received the passion, the motivation, the wanderlust. You have received all the inspiration you need, the true divine spark to go home. It's creepy because I really did not know that Homeward Bound poster looked like that. I just remembered the dogs. I'm I have chills. I can't stop freaking out. I'm trying to stop freaking out. All right. So I have no idea what was that was the question is, what do we need to know for both counterparts? Well, we're on an incredible journey and the divine masculine is homeward bound and you need to be the lighthouse on the shore and they need to grab that torch and go. I mean, it's so okay, divine. So we already knew this. This one we knew. Nine of Cups. Your wish comes true. Look at that. Wishing on a star. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. A love of life. What are we not considering? Wow. 10 of Cups is in the back. And remember, this has been here since the beginning. This is what we have been reflecting on. That all divine really wants, all God wants for us is to be able to be happy as we go through this stuff. Life is going to go up and down, good and bad. The journey's going to have high points and low points. It just is. But if you walk in the cool of the day, what I used to say about, okay, so Adam and Eve were able to walk in the cool of the day in the garden. They walked in the essence of God, and they did not experience the extreme highs and extreme lows, because in spite of whatever the weather was, even though it was probably perfect, but it didn't matter what was going on around them, it was like they had this perfect temperature. I don't know if you've ever been cold or hot before. I run super hot. And I know there are people out there who, they're always freezing. Imagine that, right? Imagine that as a representation of life. Well, what this is saying is that is not what you're going to experience. When you walk in the cool of the day, whether it's freezing, whether it's, rain, snow, sleet, hail, it doesn't matter. You experience this feeling of peace. And I say it a lot, but I don't think people really understand it, especially if you're not Christian, and especially if you've never really read that part and focused on that part of Genesis. But for about 15 years now, it's a reminder in my head. There is a space, there is a way for me to exist in this 3D realm and yet walk in another realm on earth. That's really what's happening. I leave this parallel while still existing in it, so that when something happens that would either make me hot or cold in the regular, I'm in this other parallel. It's like a walking meditation. It's another way of being. And I have to admit to you that I get caught up just like everybody else does. Everything that's been going on lately, it's hard. I'm a mixed person in America. It is real hard. But at the same time, another part of me is okay. Just like when the world was, we had earthquake after hurricane after, you know what I mean? Like everything was back to back to back. I get real calm. Why? Because technically, according to my book, according to my instruction, that is exactly what's supposed to happen to the world. You see, there's a different approach when you have a spiritual awareness, is my point. That's my perception. What's yours? What do you believe about the world? What do you believe about love? What do you believe about twin flames? What do you believe about yourself? You should be able to walk in a different realm, a higher plane, another way of being during that time without the world making you fall apart. Let's get our message. Let's get our message here. Things are coming true. So we're getting 9 of Cups. We're getting 10 of Cups. We're also getting sun energy. Really, really beautiful. What is it that we need to know? Wow. Back to this. We saw her, didn't we? We saw her here with the Judgment card. Is that correct? I believe so. I've done too many readings this morning, so I don't know. But listen to your intuition, have patience, and consider carefully what you want before acting. Why? Because in this time, in this period, it's coming. Listen to your intuition, because it's going to tell you where to go on your incredible journey. Have patience. Why? Because you will, in the moment that you need it, receive everything that you need. And so if you get to a place and you think to yourself, something's wrong here. This isn't it. I need something. I need it right now. Just wait a second. It'll probably appear. Instead of getting mad and giving up and walking away, just give it a second. Give life a minute to catch up to you and all the things that you've decided in a whim that you want to do, because you don't do that. Some of you need to look up manifestation and the buffering of time. There is a reason why we are not like actually God and have this instantaneous creation, because if we did with our limited scope, we would ruin the world 10 times over constantly. There's a whole bunch of information I just laid right there. I'll leave that alone. So when they say consider carefully what you want before acting, it's because you have moved into a realm of synchronicity. This is interesting because we have 10, 10. If this had been 10, that would have been cool, but I think it's even cooler because it's 11. To me, that's 11, 11. You've got 11 total in the 5D and the 3D, right? In the realm of humanity and who we are here. And then in the 5D, in the divine, right, where God is moving, there's 11. That means we are having, as a twin flame collective, we are all going through personal portals. The divine masculines are probably just going to take them a farther distance than the divine feminines portals. Again, it does, I guess, depend on where you're at, even for you divine feminines. Let's read this and we'll be out. All right. Again, I feel like I have to say to someone, be aware of the instantaneous response to your manifestation right now. Be aware of it. Be careful what you wish for, because it will come true. Do you understand? Okay. You drew this card because the answers you seek lie in your feelings and emotions. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Trust your intuition and the power of your natural psychic abilities. Also, pay attention to your dreams and any intuitive messages you receive as they're accurately guiding you. There's no need to race into action right now. However, instead take time to gain more insight, since things may not be as they appear on the surface. Withdraw from the noise of daily life and ask for guidance from your angels and guides. Everything you need to know will be revealed to you in time. Just have patience. Silence is golden. Study spiritual topics. Keep your dreams and desires to yourself and learn from emotional situations. Listen. Keep your dreams and desires to yourself. I am a person who has experienced all too well the pain that comes from sharing your ideas with people around you. I will never forget when my father and I, when I was probably 20, 21 years old, had a conversation where he asked me for the second or third time in my life, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And this time I said to him, I want to be a life coach. I'm going to start a business. My father, within a month, had started his own, not for us, for himself, his own life coaching thing. I'm not even going to talk about it because you can find it. He's still doing it to this day. But it's really just my dad going on these crazy lecture rants that he always has. It's just in a form of him calling himself a coach. I will never forget whenever I've decided to do something and shared it with someone where they either literally stole it or where they bashed it so bad I was too afraid. So they technically stole it that way too. Some people steal it to make it their own, and some people steal it so they can go bury it and hide it so you can't have it ever again. Stop sharing your readings. Stop sharing your dreams. Stop sharing your goals. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Okay, some of you aren't going to get that one, but my point is, if your whole life you have had people stand by you and ignore your dreams, ignore your efforts, tell you you're not good enough, question everything you do. You want to know why it took me so long to get on YouTube? Because I was listening to my grandmother and my father who told me, just go get a regular job. If I had a regular job right now, I would be screwed. Do you understand? I know some of you understand all too well what I'm saying. If I had been in a regular position right now, and you think about where the world is, I would be in big trouble. I would probably be homeless right now if I had pursued the avenues that people in my life who knew my talent, knew my gifts, knew my abilities, if they had won and stolen my dreams from me, I would be done. You want to know why I still haven't published my books? Because I, for 10 years, told my dad, I just wanted support. Truly, my father is a millionaire. I've never asked my dad for much. I have student loan debt for that reason. Like, I didn't ask my dad for stuff. It was literally survival most of the time when I went to my dad. But I told my dad, you want to know what I said to him my first year back from Vegas for Christmas? I said, I don't want a present. I want you to help me get myself started, meaning I need enough funds for a website, for some headshots. Like, I just wanted basically to get myself established in a business, and I knew that I didn't have the funds to do it, and I asked him for it. He laughed in my face. So when I tell you, I'm not telling you to hide your dreams from people because of any other reason. I'm telling you, Be aware that people in your life are not going to be able to support you in everything you do, especially if what you're doing is so high level or is anything close to a dream they had that they lost out on. They're either going to stop you because of their fear, or they're going to stop you because of jealousy, or many other things. Human has all kinds of emotions that they deal with. Why am I going on this little tangent here? Because I need you to understand something. Your divine masculine is not going to tell you what's going on with them. Period. They're getting the same message as you. You probably shouldn't be telling them what you've got going on either. At least not until you guys are in blissful union and working in partnership. I say that because you could be impacting their road and their path negatively. You could be like messing with the chrysalis, the butterflies in there, and you're poking it and trying to help them out and get out sooner. They'll never be able to fly because it's the process of getting the chrysalis off of them that strengthens their wings. See, I'm telling you this because I need you to understand that yes, your divine masculine is on the way. It's an incredible journey. They're transforming the entire time. They're receiving everything they need from divine. Divine is reassessing or having them reassess their dreams. All of this stuff is happening. But this is not for you to be involved in. This is for you to be aware of and then hands off and let them do their thing while you do yours, because you've got work to do too. Okay? Do not tell people your dreams. Stop sharing every single thing that comes to your mind just because you're excited. I'm sorry that it's going to take you a while to find a tribe that will support you, but it's the reality, it's the truth. And honestly, as much as you love your divine masculine, do you guys think I think my dad hates me? No, I know my dad loves me. That fool has been contacting me on LinkedIn late at night, like a creep, like an creepy ex-boyfriend. Okay? Then since I have been gone from the family, I did not know until about a month ago that he'd been doing that. I am not stupid. I do not think my father hates me. But I do believe that my father's fear, as well as his jealousy and narcissism issues, will always overshadow and cause any kind of love between us to be dissolved and to matter not. What will matter most is what my dad has decided he wants to pursue. So I cannot share with him. In the same way, there are some of you who, if your divine masculine told you a dream they had, an idea that they had, if it went anything against the vision that you had for union for them, you would say, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. You would discourage them, or you would do something, even if it was just saying, oh, okay. But they know you well enough to know that if you're excited, you're going to jump in and have ideas. They'll know somewhere in there that you're not supporting them. So my recommendation is hands off. My recommendation is let them experience this. My recommendation is let them go through what they need to go through. Let them involve you when they want to, and otherwise, and this will be good for all of you. Any of you who are waiting on communication or struggle to maintain communication, stop trying to involve yourself in stuff like this and just be there. Be their friend. I was friends with star athletes. I have friends in the NFL, I used to have friends in the NBA. I say that I used to because we just slipped apart. I have friends in the MLB. My father is a millionaire. I have been around all kinds of people. I do not talk about work or shop talk with them. Why? Because we already know you're a baseball player. We already know you're a football player. What is us, you and I, talking about football, baseball, money? What is that going to do? But if we have conversations that happen to lead into business, cool, no big deal. If we have conversations that happen to lead into, other higher level things, great. But I'm going to talk to you like a person. That's what you need to start doing with your divine masculine. Speaking to them like a human being, not your DM or someone that you're waiting. Come on. Time's wasting. Come on. I'm for real. I'm just giving you my advice from the divine feminine perspective, as well as a perspective of someone who has been around high level people, whatever you want to call that, or been around situations where it's a little bit sensitive or tense. I've been in all of it, And I'm telling you, the approach that some of you are taking is not the right approach. Do you notice this? 9 and 18 and 1 and 2. I get the sense that there's a little bit of division here as we go along the journey and pursue our goals and dreams. And that, I think, is what divine is kind of coming together, bringing everything back together for. There's 27. So there's good news. Yeah, there's good news about this journey. It's happening. All right, I'm gonna go because I gave you guys a little lecture at the end, but it needed to be said. Stop sharing everything that comes to you and stop expecting everyone else to do the same. Let people have their privacy. Let people have their space. Let people have their room to grow. Let your divine masculine be just as you were able to be when you were in the early parts of your journey or any stage of your journey. All right, I'm out of here. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. Haha, almost got me. Welcome. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. I am an intuitive life strategist here on YouTube. And you can find my information about me, about all the different parts of who I am, as well as everything that I offer in terms of working together on my website, thefierygrace.com. I offer long-term coaching, I create handmade runes, and I offer all kinds of other things, but most people take advantage of the phone sessions and the recorded readings or live readings that I offer via YouTube. If you are interested in working with me, these are some of the different services I offer. Channeled love letters are on sale right now. So if you're interested in hearing from your DM, I believe that the shorter DM Insights readings are also on sale. So there's a bunch of sales going on this month, as well as a sale going on the full site. Because of the pandemic, I've decided to offer bigger sales on a more consistent basis. So just check back at the website from time to time. You can also email me if you're interested in working together, thefierygrace@gmail.com. If you send a message to thefierygrace@gmail.com, you will get an auto reply message back that walks you through what it's like to work with me and book with me. I accept PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. If you pay through Cash App or Venmo, and you're interested in receiving a little bit more of a discount, just send me an email and say, hey, I want to pay through Cash App or Venmo, and I will let you know what the price is for whatever service or reading you're looking to book. Otherwise, you can just book directly from the website. All right. I love you. This was a dope reading. There's a lot that's happening, a lot that's coming, a lot of momentum, a lot of really great news. Positive, inevitable change is occurring. And your job is to support this new shift from the divine masculine by not saying, I told you so, or not pushing them and pressuring them, but just encouraging them that they will always have a home with you. That's your only job. Otherwise, you focus on your temple, your home, your life, your journey, your growth. And trust that they will come right alongside you when they're supposed to. They'll just almost appear out of nowhere. And you'll be like, oh, shoot, you here now? Okay, what's up? Let's get it. All right, I love you. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Peace.